Mr. Say here today to talk about graphing lines yet again. But guess what? This time, when we look at the equations, they're not going to be written in slope-intercept form. Scary. But guess what? We're going to be able to, by the end of this video, hopefully demystify the process and getting every equation we deal with into slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, so that graphing lines are easy and fun and something you can do all the time. Like if you didn't have something to do on like Friday night and you're like really bored and you're sitting home, you're like, what am I gonna do with my life? You could be like doing these. You could be graphing lines. Fun stuff. Alrighty, let's get started. 3 examples today. Example number 1. Here we go. Alright, so I got negative 3x plus y equals negative 6. Oh no, not in slope-intercept form. To do that, first of all, we're going to get y by itself. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, to get y by itself, we're going to have to move that negative 3x to the other side. So all I'm going to have to do in this one, this is going to be a little bit easier, or at least this example is, I'm going to have to add 3x to both sides, okay? Now I'm not going to take negative 6 and add it to 3x because obviously those are not like terms, but I can go ahead and set those terms up however I want them. So I'm going to, on purpose, list the positive 3x first and then the minus 6, okay? Because, again, I usually like my slope, then my x, and then my y-intercept in that order, okay? And we can do whichever order we want after the equal sign because of something called the associative property. So I could have listed it y equals negative 6 plus 3x or y equals 3x minus 6. It doesn't matter because of this thing called the associative property, okay? So, of course, if I wanted to go ahead and graph that, I would start with my y-intercept, which is negative 6, which is all the way down here. And then I would go ahead and use my slope of 3 over 1 to go ahead and plot a couple more points so that I could, yes, draw my line and have a nice equation, okay? So I'm going to attempt that right now. Alright, not my best line ever, but hey, it'll work for today. Again, don't forget the arrows. Alright, let's go on to the next equation. The next equation is a little bit more challenging, but let's start by moving the 4x to the other side. I'm going to do that by subtracting 4x on both sides. And again, I want my slope and my x first. So when I rewrite this, I'm going to have negative 3y equals negative 4x plus 24. Now, there's a negative 3 attached to the y. I don't want that negative 3 there because I want it to be y equals something. So I'm going to go ahead and divide negative 3 because that will detach that negative 3 from y. Now, I'm going to have to make sure that I divide the whole other side by negative 3 as well. All right? These negative 3's will cancel, and just like the distributive property, I'm going to make sure that the negative 4x gets divided by negative 3 and positive 24 gets divided by negative 3, okay? So y is going to equal, first of all, negative 4 divided by negative 3 is going to be, first of all, positive number because a negative divided by negative is a positive. And I'm going to leave 4 over 3 just as a fraction because slopes are okay to be fractions. I like that actually. So I'm just going to leave it like that and I can attach the x there. And then I'm going to take 24 and divide it by negative 3. Now 24 divided by negative 3 is going to be a negative number and it's going to be, what is it? 24 divided by negative 3 is going to be, negative 8. Okay, so I have 4 over 3x minus 8, all right? I'm not going to grab this one because it's going to be actually off the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my calculator right now. I'm going to go to the home screen. I'm going to go to the graphing calculator and I'm going to type that in. All right. So first of all, I'm going to use my fraction tool. I got 4 over 3. I'm going to put an x next to it and I'm going to subtract 8. Hit enter. There is the graph of my line. I'm going to move this a little bit so you can see the y-intercept and everything and the x-intercept. There we go. There's our line for the second one. Okay, let's go ahead and do the last example for today, which involves fractions. Ooh, scary. But guess what? Let's just go ahead and attack it the same way we've been doing the other 2 problems, okay? So first of all, I'm going to subtract negative 1/2 x from both sides. Yeah, so let's just do that. Do-do-do-do-do. Do 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 Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. All right, anyway, so I got 2/3 y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. All right. Hey, next time you're caught into this situation where you have a fraction attached to the y and you're trying to remove that fraction to the other side, okay, here's a cool trick you can do. Multiply it by its reciprocal. Okay, hey, so when you multiply it by its reciprocal, you'll notice that, hey, when we simplify this, hey, we're just going to be left with 1, which means it's pretty much, we've canceled it out. But since we've multiplied the reciprocal on the left side of the equal sign, we also got to do it to the right side, okay? So I'm going to just, using parentheses, show that, hey, I'm going to take 3/2 and multiply it by each term on the right side of the equal sign, okay? So again, like I said, this will cancel out completely. I'm going to have to multiply 3/2 by both of these terms in the parentheses, okay? So y equals, first of all, negative 1/2 times 3/2 is just going to be a negative 3/4, okay? So let me just write that. All right, and then I got 4 times 3/2, okay? Well, let me just put this as a fraction. 4 times 3 is going to be 12, and then 12/2, well, that's just going to be 6, okay? So I got a positive 6 here as my y-intercept, all right? So there we go. Let's go ahead and graph this one by hand. All right, 6 is my y-intercept. And then I'm going to go down 3/4. There we go. And I'm just going to plot just one point this time, and then I'm going to draw my line, which totally missed the other dot. But hey, give me an A for effort. Come on, I'm trying here. I'm trying. All right. Just kidding. Hey, listen, hopefully this helped you out a little bit. If you have any questions, call me on over. But for now, see you later. Goodbye.